Haak is a Metroidvania focused on exploration and platforming, primarily using a hookshot and directional dashes. In the beginning of the game, the movement is okay, but as you get more power-ups, it gets substantially better, to the point that the movement felt very fluid and it becomes very fun to try to go as fast as possible. The exploration in Haak is great. There are secrets crammed in every corner of the map, so it always feels like there is more to find if you get just one more ability or break open one more hidden wall. One of the best ways Haak encourages backtracking is by showing items or collectibles to you, by putting them just out of reach. This naturally makes you wonder how to get these items, which helps you to remember to come back there when you get a new ability. This is great game design and is vastly superior to simply putting a random pathway out of reach, as is frequently done in other Metroidvanias. Possibly the biggest problem with Haak is its introduction. Gameplay is frequently interrupted by someone calling you on your watch to tell you every next step you need to take. The boss fights are quite fun, but fighting regular enemies is quite boring, and it takes a few hours for your movement options to expand to be truly interesting. But once you have these options, the game improves quite a bit, and you stop being interrupted so frequently. During the first few hours the game is also fairly linear, which doesn't feel great. I honestly was close to giving up on the game, but I'm glad I didn't. After those first few hours there are so many different places to explore and abilities to find, and sliding around, using the downer dash, and jumping off trampolines feels great. There are a wide variety of items to find in every area, from standard power-ups to stat increases, along with collectibles and scraps of paper that explain how more advanced mechanics work. It remained exciting to find secrets throughout the entire game. Another system I really liked was how money works. In Haak, enemies drop no money. The only way to obtain money is by breaking boxes that contain money, which are normally used as rewards for optional challenges or in hidden walls, and a small number of specific quests. Money can be used to buy upgrades to your map, along with stat increases. I also appreciated that money wasn't something that you could grind, and you had to explore to find it. I really like the amount of optional platforming challenge rooms that lead to an upgrade. They are really fun and feel rewarding to complete, and no big deal to leave behind and come back to later if you want to. Using both vertical and horizontal dashes to get through lasers or other obstacles felt very cool all the way through the game. I also enjoyed the small puzzles to find the passcodes to certain doors. They were never very difficult, but offered a small change of pace. I will say, although the new abilities are fun to use, none of them are something that you haven't seen before if you've played a Metroidvania or two. It wouldn't have hurt if there were one or two new ideas for abilities mixed in. If hidden breakable walls are just for secrets or optional upgrades, they can be fun, and if you miss some, it isn't the end of the world. However, if breaking a hidden wall is required to progress, and you can't find that wall, or don't even know that you need to find a specific hidden wall, they can be very frustrating. Unfortunately, that happens quite a few times in the later part of Hawk. It isn't a problem before the late game, as if you miss one, there is still somewhere else you can explore, but once those hidden areas are all that is left to find, it can be very annoying. Hawk also provides accessibility options in the form of greenie coins. You gain one coin on death, and they can be used to purchase things to make boss fights easier, or to give a shield to yourself. I chose not to use this system, but I think the system is well implemented for those who want it, because it allows you to make specific fights easier if you are struggling with them. Another thing I want to mention is how great the animation is for picking up power-ups. I really appreciate how good it looks, and it contributes to how epic it feels to find a new power-up, and how long the animation is builds up some excitement to see what the upgrade is. A couple minor nitpicks I have with the game are that sometimes the music did not match the boss fight. Like I was in a fast-paced fight while some chill music that also plays while you are regularly exploring was playing. I also really disliked how in flashback sequences you are forced to walk at the speed of a snail. Hawk is far from the only game guilty of this, but it gets on my nerves in every game that has it. If you want to make a cinematic scene, just take control away from the player and don't force me to walk slowly, unless it adds to how you want the player to feel, which is not the case in Hawk. Finally, I really appreciated how early you were given both the dash upgrade and the hookshot. Doing so allowed for more interesting platforming challenges earlier. All in all, I really enjoyed my time with Hawk and would recommend it to Metroidvania fans, especially those who enjoy platforming gauntlets.